Hello and welcome to Ben Television News. I am Kiru Obuli. First, the highlights. Both chambers of the National Assembly to engage in consultations before debating on President Jonathan's request for the extension of emergency rule in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states. The Nigerian military authority said the alleged mutiny by a troop of army in Borno state is being investigated by Military Board of Inquiry. Police in Tanzania says 2 witch doctors have been arrested after a woman with albinism was hacked to death. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says corruption has rendered local government authorities ineffectual in the country. Now the news. The National Assembly is to engage in consultations before it will commence debate on President Jonathan's request for the extension of emergency rule in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states. This was part of the highlights of the closed-door meetings of both chambers with military service chiefs at the National Assembly complex. The Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu said the Senate will continue with deliberations next week.
We are looking at it from a very diverse angle to ensure that the security situation in those states improve at the shortest possible time. And further to that, we also agreed to do further consultations with the other stakeholders to ensure that everybody will buy in to whatever needs to be done to secure those states and to defeat the...
The Northern senators have launched a campaign against any attempt to extend the state of emergency in the 3 northeastern states of Nigeria. After a meeting of the Northern Senators Caucus, Senator Umar Dahiru from Sokoto State announced the majority position basically was that they were not going with the extension. The meeting came a day after a letter from President Jonathan seeking an extension of emergency rule in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states was read on the floor of the House.
The majority position is which we have taken and we have agreed upon. We are not going with the state of emergency. Categorically, that's our position.
The Chief of Defense Staff, Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade, has described the relationship between Nigeria and the United States as mutual and strategic. He said this while receiving the Commander of United States African Command, Lieutenant General David Rodriguez, at the Defense Headquarters on Tuesday. According to the CDS, the Nigerian military has over time benefited immensely from the bilateral relationship between the two countries, particularly in the area of training and military hardware. Earlier in his remarks, General Rodriguez stated that he was at the Defense Headquarters to discuss modalities and furtherance to the U.S. support of Nigerian military in tackling insurgency in the country. The Nigerian military authority said the alleged mutiny by a troop of army in Borno state has been investigated by Military Board of Inquiry. The Defense Headquarters said in a statement signed by the spokesman, Major General Chris Olukalade, that some soldiers fired shots while the GOC was addressing the troops at the Mai Malari cantonment. The incident occurred while the corpses of 4 soldiers who died in an ambush while returning from patrol in Chibok was being conveyed to the morgue. Nigeria's National Emergency Management Agency has called on African leaders to step up investment in disaster risk reduction. Director General NEMA, Mr. Sani Sidi, made this call at a World Press Conference after the first session of the 5th African Regional Platform for Disaster Reduction in Abuja. Our correspondent Ellen Chikwameka completes the report.
The gloomy statistics on disaster-related deaths in Africa has been attributed to poor investment in disaster risk reduction on the continent. Speaking at the press conference, DG NEMA Sani Sidi said the World Bank research had revealed that losses to disaster could be up to 20 times greater as a percentage of gross domestic products in developing countries than in industrial nations.
We are also aware that the ministers and government officials across Africa will discuss and adopt a draft declaration based on a compilation of recommendations emerging from the 3 days of stakeholders' deliberation and dialogue.
Special Representative of United Nations Secretary General for Disaster Risk Reduction, Ms. Margaret Wallström, said many countries in the world are affected by disaster, thereby making disaster risk reduction a global agenda.
Of course, I outlined that this is part of an important global agenda because all countries in the world today are affected by disasters.
The issue of disaster is about development. It's about the future generation. The issue of climate change is about how we get our continent be better.
ECOWAS is trying to find financial resources and help all the member states to strengthen the capacity of the national platform.
Earlier, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator Anyim Pius, while declaring the workshop open, said that disasters are a potential threat to national development, poverty reduction initiative, and attainment of progressive society.
Africa must unite to fight common enemies, including terrorism, climate change, and conflicts. It is a common knowledge that risks and vulnerabilities are beyond natural boundaries. Hence, we need a regional approach to address them.
More than 1,000 participants registered for the conference, which is expected to last for 4 days. LM Chukwemeka reports for Ben Television News, Abuja.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has given the 18 political parties participating in the gubernatorial elections in Ekiti State till the 5th day of June to submit names of their polling agents. The Commission's Deputy Director, Gender Division, Blessing Obidiegu, gave the directive in Ado Ekiti at a one-day political dialogue organized by a consortium of women bodies in conjunction with the United Nations Development Program and INEC. Obidiegu also directed the parties to be prepared for the June 21st poll, as INEC had no plans to shift the date for any reason whatsoever. We'll take a short break now. Ben Television News will be right back.
I am on the streets of Abuja, the Nigerian Federal Capital Territory, just like any other nation. Nigeria is coping with various challenges, which include socio-economic issues, unemployment, and insecurity.
As we are alive to review the first 100 years of our nation, so by the grace of God, will others be alive to review what we have done during the time that we have the opportunity to be in the leadership of this country.
We cannot continue like this as a nation. A time will come when the poor in this country will have nothing to eat but the rich. A time will come, those of us who drive on jeeps, it will become dangerous to even drive those jeeps outside. What happened in Libya is smelling in Nigeria.
In a quest to provide solution to some of these challenges, here comes Project Nigeria.
Welcome back. Now the news from the rest of Africa. Zimbabwe's 90-year-old President Robert Mugabe is in Singapore for another routine eye checkup, his spokesman said, playing down concerns about the health of the veteran leader who has no obvious successor. Mugabe had a cataract operation in Singapore on the eve of his 90th birthday in February, and his visits to the Southeastern Asian states have become more frequent over the last couple of years amidst fear for his health. Spokesman George Charamba said Mugabe, who denies he has prostate cancer or any serious illnesses, will be away for a week and will undergo a routine eye checkup following a recent procedure on the same. When he addressed an independence anniversary rally on April 18th, a squinting Mugabe struggled to read his speech and his eye appeared swollen when he removed his spectacles. A Sudanese court has sentenced a woman to death by hanging for apostasy after she left Islam and married a Christian man. Western embassies and right groups have urged Sudan to respect the right of the pregnant woman to choose her religion. Local media reports that the sentence will not be carried out for 2 years after she has given birth. The judge also sentenced the woman to 100 lashes after convicting her of adultery because her marriage to a Christian man was not valid under Islamic law. Police in Tanzania said 2 witch doctors have been arrested after a woman with albinism was hacked to death. One of her legs and several fingers were removed in the attack. Albinos have suffered widespread persecution in Tanzania, where witch doctors said magic potions made with albino body parts can bring good luck. Such killings have declined in recent years, but this latest attack has prompted a human rights group to call for all witch doctors to be banned. Now we'll bring you business reports. The Federation Accounts Allocation Committee distributed the sum of 634.721 billion naira to the 3 tiers of government for the month of April. According to the Accountant General of the Federation, Mr. Jonah Otunla, the amount showed a slight decrease of 2.134 billion naira against what was distributed in March. The AGF noted that the decrease in government revenue could be attributed to the production shutting in Kwaibo Terminal and shutdown at Focados, coupled with oil theft and some repairs work on pipeline leaks at Boni and Brass terminals. Breakdown showed that the federal government got 249.060 billion naira or 52.68%. States got 126.327 billion naira or 26.772%, while the local government took home 97.397 billion or 20.60%. Also distributed among the 3 tiers of government was the 13% mineral revenue of 55.182 billion naira and sure peas 35.549 billion naira. However, the VAT added tax for the month was 65.426 billion naira as against 63.307 billion naira distributed in March. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Lamorde, says corruption has rendered local government administration ineffectual in Nigeria. He said the problem of corruption and lack of fiscal transparency perhaps remain the hydro-headed factor that accounts for the inefficiency and retarded growth of the local governments in Nigeria today. Lamorde explained that numerous investigations have shown that corruption in local governments thrives in inflation of prices, overestimation of cost of projects, the ghost worker syndrome, award of contracts and subsequent abandonment, and outright payment of huge sums of money to godfathers. Motorists in Kaduna State are experiencing persistent long queues following fuel scarcity recorded across the state. A survey revealed that most of the filling stations at the state capital and its environs has remained closed for more than 2 months due to the non-availability of petroleum products. A cross-section of the motorists said they were forced to buy fuel from black marketers at exorbitant prices because of the scarcity. That's the much you can take on Ben Television News. I am Kiri Obuli. Thanks for staying with us.